Regardless of what Abimelech said, his actions showed that his people hated Isaac. They were jealous of him. They were trying to tear him down. Here's Isaac, a righteous rich man, and they don't like it because God keeps on blessing him and they hate it. So consequently, they hate him. Now here he is. He's respectful. He is successful not once, not twice, but now a third time. And in the third time of his success, they come to him. They claim how much they respect him and how much they see God as honored. They want to make a treaty with him. They want to make a treaty because they knew God was blessing. How did Isaac respond? Verse 30. He made them a feast. And they ate and drank. And they rose early in the morning. And they swore an oath with another. And Isaac sent them on their way, and they departed in peace. I can say it's obvious Isaac forgave them for how they treated him, but there's something more important there. I would argue he lives the gospel before them. By their actions, they showed hatred. By Isaac's actions, this is what he said. I was God's enemy, and God made me his friend. You acted like my enemy, but I'm going to make you my friend. Isn't that not the gospel, folks? What we can take from this is emulating the heart of Isaac. We may not be rich in this life. You might be rich in this life. That's not the point. The point is righteousness. Now, we can't do that righteousness on our own. We have to first come to the realization that we were God's enemy. Before salvation, Roger Carlson was God's enemy. Before I realized I was a sinner, and I realized that as a sinner I was totally unable to do anything to please God on my own. Any righteousness I brought before God was like filthy, dirty, bloody rags. My absolute best I could bring to God was nasty. I had no hope, except I turned to him and I said, Lord, I am repenting of my sin. As a sinner, I am repenting of my sin, and I am turning and I'm trusting you. I'm asking you to save me. I'm asking you to forgive me. And I may not understand all that, but Lord, I'm asking you to be the Lord of my life. When I surrender myself to him, what did he do? It wasn't anything I did. It was me just acknowledging his work. What did he do? He made me and declared me just as if I had never sinned in the first place. And no longer was I his enemy. Now I'm his friend. Because of his grace. Folks, we're going to have disputes in our lives with people who are believers and with people who are non-believers. Either way, our response should still be the same. Romans says, as much as we're able, as much as lies in us, we're to live peaceably among all men. When we get into the dispute, you know what should be the front and foremost part of our minds? Is that God is honored and glorified. Because if God is honored and glorified, guess what happens? We'll have opportunities to proclaim his truth. We'll have Isaac opportunities. Isaac showed kindness to them when they didn't show it to him. He forgave them. And what happened after that? God continued to bless. God's people continue to enjoy God's blessing. And what was amazing, when Isaac entered into this treaty, he didn't know yet that he had water in this third well.